I just called my mom to express some feelings to her, but she was born in 1980, so she's of that generation where I had it worse. So, like I understand, but I had it worse type thing. So the conversation kind of went a little bit like, when does life get a little bit easier? I guess I just needed a pep talk. When does things stop being so hard? And she was basically like, never.
Welcome to the Common Sense Philosophy channel. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, and you?
Splendid. Today's title is Poor Mindset or Just Wealth Concentration. Poor mindset or just wealth concentration. So it's dealing with the minds of men, What you think?
I think a lot of people have a poor mindset and jump to spaces before they fully understand what's going on. And I do believe things are a little harder now. The numbers seem bigger, it's more intimidating. But I think overall, people need to change their mindset. It'll put you in a better space.
Yeah. When you look at it like that, it's, we know what poor mindset is. Wealth concentration means it's just they're guiding the money in one area. It's real concentrated for, like they said, the 1%ers, 10%ers, 15%ers. Mm-hmm. So is it just set up for them to get the money and everybody else is cut out? Or is it just because people have a poor mindset? So that's the two ways of looking at this and trying to really figure out what is going on out here. While you see generations of people not having anything, then you see generations of people having stuff, but then you see sometimes they fall off. One of the richest families in the world no longer is the richest family in the world. And you got some over here that was in the poorest family and they become rich.
Right.
So, Rockefeller, you see what happened in their family. He had to make it happen. His dad was just a hustler selling stuff. Right. So it only takes one to change the whole thing and take it to the next level. So, I guess we'll go ahead and get into this.
All right.
People realize how uniquely debilitating poverty actually is. I saw a gentleman come on here about a week ago. He was studying, I think, sociology or perhaps social work, and he mentioned by using a dead smoke detector as an analogy, how when you're not getting your needs met, like how everything becomes just so much harder. Poverty is such that it begets more poverty, like you have to pay a poverty tax. And unfortunately, one of those taxes is physically, it really fucks with your health. For a little bit of context, or a little bit extra context, last year was just an incredibly difficult year. I woke up one morning, couldn't walk, lost my job. Soon after, was robbed, so I couldn't start another job right after because he took my ID. Was evicted for the first time a month after that. 2 of my brothers were murdered. 2 kids. And it was just a difficult year. And so I said, I think I deserve a good year. And she was like, no, I don't think you do.
Here's the dark truth about being poor. Poverty charges interest. Can't afford to get that cavity looked at? Next day you're paying for a root canal. Can't afford a good lawyer? You may end up in prison, trapped in a system you can't fight. Can't afford to get that lung checked out? Next day you're paying for stage 3 cancer. Can't afford to pay your bills on time? You end up with bad credit, paying triple the interest every time you borrow. You see, growing up in ends, the hood, the ghetto, or whatever you want to call it, you see this commonly where less fortunate people pay more for things because they are less fortunate. And even if they somehow manage to make it out, make a bit of money, they hold on to those traumas and pass it along generations. The truth is, wealth buys you time, options, and safety. And then poverty steals all 3. And then charges you interest for the rest of your life.
That was a lot of good information. I like the way they're talking. So what you thought about that?
Yeah, to me, it's still mind state. We do attract things to our vibration, whatever our frequency is, and that stuff will start to line up. and it'll keep going if you let it stop you. So if you're going through something, the best thing you need to do is just keep pushing through and staying positive, because then it'll start to deviate. The bad will start to deviate, or the good will just overcome the bad.
Yeah. 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 I could see that. You know, and it's always the pendulum too, because you could be doing good, and then you push yourself through, and then there's that swing back, right? So you got to really keep your mind right. Make sure every step you make is solid. So when that pendulum swings, it don't knock you down, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's important, because you'll see people like, really, no, I'm rich. I got a rich mind state, all those things. And you see them doing good. But then one thing come through, and then for the next 5 days, they're saying the most terriblest things out their mouth, that they F their life and they hate their life. They hate everybody around them. You know what I'm saying? So really you got to make sure you keep because it's childish to go back and forth so fast. Mm-hmm. That's what children do. Like, they're happy when they get something. Then you say, no, you can't have that. Now it's important to be mature about this and say, hey, and understand one thing. What makes you wise is start to understand that there's, in a full day, 24 hours, there's going to be daylight and there's going to be nighttime. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You can't have a full day without nighttime. So once you get some clarity on that, I think you do better. But I guess we'll watch some more.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like Monday, I'm tired. Tuesday, tired. Wednesday, tired. Thursday, tired. Friday, I'm tired up until the evening time. Then I'm off work and I have a lot of energy. It's just like, so I'm learning, like, people don't understand that work drains you, y'all. Work really drains you. Like, I don't care if you just sitting at the desk doing nothing. Just being at work is really like tiring and draining. It's like slave work. Like, ain't my ancestors did that already? I don't know, I'm working like a slave. My ancestors already done worked like a slave already. It's just too much.
You say you want to be rich, but your habits tell me something different. You want to talk about it? So I was watching Lewis Howes' podcast, and he was talking to one of the top coaches for billionaires, right? And he was talking about his clients, and he said the biggest trait of every billionaire that I work with, and what they have in common, is their assertiveness. They trust themselves to figure it out.
Goes deep. Now imagine, if you will, if you chose your profession, your career, where you're going to go to school, what you're going to go to school for, your friendships, where you decide to live, and worst of all, who you decide to date and marry while you were in a poverty mindset. Because having a poverty mindset is not compartmentalized. You can't compartmentalize it. It actually affects every aspect of your life.
Yeah. That was good. That was good right there. What you think?
Yeah, the girl with the mic, she was talking about how the coach of the billionaires, he said that the common trait that they'll have is assertiveness, and how they trust themselves to figure it out. Yeah. I agree with that, because all the decisions that you make, whether you made a decision off what somebody else said or you made a decision yourself, you have to come back to trusting yourself, because you're going to have to make decisions by yourself.
Right.
So if you don't trust yourself, then you won't make decisions that are the best for you without somebody outside coming in and telling you what to do, because really it's your life.
Right.
You have to trust yourself.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even look at it like that. The assertiveness, I didn't even look at it when she said that. I'm like, you know what? That does make sense. You have to trust yourself, because everywhere you go, there you are.
Yeah.
So I think that was I'm gonna have to hold on to that one. That was a good point.
Yeah. And I think when you start getting into that mind state, that gets you more into the wealth concentration too, because you see that this is how the people think in that area, so you get away from color and creed and all those things. You just get into what type of people are in this area where wealth is concentrated. Mm-hmm. What mind state do they have? Because we have a poor mindset. Well, what's the other one? What exactly is that? So what you find is people say, I hate corporations, corporation greed and all this, but then they always trying to put an application there, or they hate when the corporation breaks down. They're like, oh, eat the rich. But when they lose their stuff, then you lose your stuff because you work for them, so you kind of want them to do well, right, so you can continue to get your job, your pension, or whatever you after over there. Because you see people pray for jobs. They pray for these things. They want them real bad. And once they get it, I don't want to do no work. Mm-hmm. So what's the famous saying? I came in today, but I ain't come to do no work. Mm-hmm. Don't bother me. You know, so it's so important, the mind state and what you're doing with your money. Because you can get money, but if you don't know what you're doing with it, it's like not having no money. It just fall through your fingerprints. That's the whole thing of a poor mind state.
Mm-hmm. You could end up worse.
Yeah.
If you get the money and lose it, because you didn't create a life with this new money and you lose it. Now you still got to do with that life you created.
Exactly. So, you know, thanks for coming and checking us out at Common Sense Philosophy. Once again, Poor Mindset or Just Wealth Concentration was the title. We're going to watch some more clips and we talk to y'all later.
All right.
Yep.
Between being broke and being poor. Being broke is economic, but being poor is a disabling frame of mind. A depressed condition of your spirit. You must vow never to be poor again. The first thing you gotta do is get your mind right, and then the money will follow.
Stop hanging around with broke people, first of all. You hang around 9 broke people, you'll be the 10th.
One of the biggest things I think that keeps people behind is living with a poverty mindset. A poverty mindset is basically where you take every opportunity you receive. Any money that's on the table, you're taking it, even if it's a low ball. And the reason you do that, you have this fear that all the success that you have is temporary or it can be gone tomorrow, right?
Poor people are taught to just be grateful and be happy for the little bit that they're getting. And this sets adults up for failure should they ever achieve social mobility for a couple of reasons. One, part of luxury is choice. Choice is a luxury. That's why when you are poor, you don't have a choice.
With like the language of the poor, people who are never able to own houses, like people who have struggled paying rent, this is their language, the language that they speak. And it's interesting because when I talk to them, I have to change my entire mindset. I have to mirror match because I can't come at them the way I would come at someone who is equal to me in terms of financial success and mindset, right? This is a different mindset. This is the mindset of someone who is consistently poor, and it's a language. The language that they speak is very, very reactive, as in things are happening to them and they can't do anything about it. It's this constant mindset and thus language of saying things like, well, you know how it is. I'm never paid a living wage. Well, you know how it is. Inflation is just out of control. I'll never be able to afford whatever. It's always like this negative, and I always have to mirror match, even though I totally don't agree with any of it. And it's just hard these days. I'm never going to reach those things. Nobody can. It's impossible. I literally have to totally. Yeah, no, I get it. Like, how could anyone survive in this current climate? I can't say the truth.
I think when it comes to growing up poor, a lot of people don't understand, like, the hard parts of being poor as a kid. Like, it's not even just about getting bullied at school or wearing the same clothes. You wake up in the morning, lights off, gas off. You look in the refrigerator, mind you, lights off, electricity, gas off, refrigerator don't work. Look in that bit, refrigerator, hot as hell, none in that bit. Mind you, you waking up in the morning, go about you a kid, so you still going outside hooping and some more shit. Nigga, you fasting without even trying to. Body just break it down all the glycogen you got left. Look in the refrigerator. No food in that bit. You get so hungry, you get delusional to think that some food finna pop up in the refrigerator. There ain't no food in there. You already knew that, but your mind in circles type shit because you hungry. Like, you're not even outside because you want to be all the time. You outside to pass time, right? We talking about not when a motherfucker tell you, I ain't eat all day, God, leave. And they had the option to eat. We talking about nigga ain't eat all day and the nigga didn't have the option.
I said, I fucking hate being poor. And my dad got really upset. He just threw his newspaper on the floor and he said, David, you are not poor. Poor is a mentality. He said it's a mentality that very few people ever recover from. Don't you forget it, son. You are broke.
Stay away from people who have a poor mindset.